Hello everyone. Today we're going to present about internal and external factors affecting language learning. Without any further ado, let's go into the presentation. My name is Tria. I am as the first presenter of this presentation. In overcoming language acquisition issues, there are two factors that determine how language is successfully learned, namely internal factors and external factors. The first one, let's discuss about internal factors. Internal factors are factors that come from within a person or individual. There are 6 kinds of internal factors. The first one is age. Learning a language can be conducted by learners in all age without any range of learners' age. However, it turns out that the age of learners affects certain aspects that influence their ability to use language. In this case, young learners grow and unconsciously promoting cognitive, physical, emotional, and social characteristics that are significant in determining language learning. It is harder for students to acquire native pronunciation in their teen years. In some cases, students also find it difficult to acquire new language completely as they get older. As a conclusion, the younger the age of the students, the possibility of achieving success in learning a language will be greater, because their memory and comprehension ability will certainly be better than adult learners. The second one is personality. Generally, inside the learning process, there will be 2 types of learners. The first one is introvert and the second one is extrovert learners. Introvert learners usually have higher anxiety, which causes the slow progress, especially in applying the oral skill. They tend to be more passive and do not take the opportunity to speak, neither to find out the opportunity itself. On the other hand, the extrovert learners are in opposite to the introvert. They mostly look for opportunities to be able to speak and do not afraid of making mistakes. Thus, it gives them so much chance in practicing the language. In conclusion, students show various kinds of personality which will affect the situation of learning process depending on which personality is dominant inside the class. The third one is motivation. Motivation in this part belongs to the intrinsic motivation. The intrinsic motivation plays important role in successful language learning. When the students know the importance of learning and understanding a language, moreover understanding how to apply the language in their daily life, they will be motivated and learning faster. This is how intrinsic motivation works. It arises due to the individual's desire to be able to achieve the success of learning. Intrinsic motivation is found in resulting a successful educational achievement. As a conclusion, learners' motivation takes an important part in a successful language learning, because less motivated students will be narrow their success in mastering the language. The fourth one is experience. The experience and knowledge of learners have a strong influence on their ability to understand a language. For example, students who have visited other countries will certainly know and learn the language and culture of the country visited. So, indirectly, the experience makes it easier for the students to understand a language.
I'm Swasti and I'll be presenting the continuation of internal factors that affect language learning. Well, we have cognition here, in which it is about the thinking process that involves recalling, distinguishing, and also analyzing. In cognition, everyone, it is divided into 2 sub-factors, their memory and attention and awareness. Let's talk about memory. So, memory plays an important role as the brain storage. It is also about the ability owned by learners in recalling information as well as certain experiences that they have encountered in life. In terms of attention and awareness, when students are considered having a good attention and awareness while learning language, they will be very faster and easier in learning the language itself. Okay, let's move to the next factor. It is about the native language. When target language has similar language family with native language, it will make the learner easier in acquiring the language or learning the language itself. This is the example, everyone. French kids will develop English more quickly than Korean kids. Well, people must be wondering why it happens. It is because English and French share several same vocabularies in its use. I give you the example, everyone. Heritage and héritage in French. They both have same written form. It will make the French kid easier in learning English because they have the same written form and quite similar, yeah? Especially they also have the same meaning as well. That's what makes the French kid easier in learning English if it's compared to Korean kids. Alright, besides having the internal factors in learning language, we also have the external ones. Starting from the curriculum, in which it is used as the measurement for students on how much they have been progressing in learning language. That's the function. However, everyone, because it is it's quite wide on the range, therefore students should be facilitated by syllabus in which it has been simplified from the curriculum. By the existence of syllabus, teacher will be able to create innovative learning activities that support students' learning language. However, in creating innovative learning activities, teachers need to consider several things: their age, ability, and also the needs of the students. By considering these three things, teacher will create a very meaningful learning experience that they can provide to the students. Well, the next factor is that about motivation. Motivation here, I will explain. It will come from two factors. So the first is from teacher. As a teacher, everyone, we have to provide students with several things stated here. The first is that appreciating students' value. Every student have different value. Yeah, it's not value, the capability. So we have to value that, appreciate what they have. And then we also have to improve our learning experience quality. So the students will have the better learning experience later. The next is that by providing them with reflective evaluation that can help them to reflect from their learning process to be better in the next meeting or the next learning. Next, motivation comes from parents. Well, as a parents, they have to support and motivate the learners by doing this thing, encouraging and rewarding. Well, encouraging deals with giving some encouragement for the students. Keep motivating that by encouraging, as well as if it's possible for the parents, they might be giving the reward for the students in every achievement or every process they have been through in the learning process.
Thanks for the time that's given to me. I'm Kadek Rustiana Dewi. Now I'd like to continue the presentation regarding the other external factors that can affect students' language learning. As you can see on the slide, the third factor will be instruction. Here, the focus will be on how the teacher delivers instruction to the students. The clear instruction here will help the students to understand the material effectively. Meanwhile, unclear instruction will lead to failure because the students cannot understand what they are supposed to do during the learning process. They will be confused and they will not involve in classroom activities because the instruction is not clear. And then the next one will be culture and status. Here, students can have low academic achievement because their culture has lower status than their new classroom culture. Let's take an example here. An Indonesian student joins an English class in a Western educational system. As we know, Indonesian students are culturally passive, silent, and also shy during the teaching and learning process. When the teacher points a student to answer a certain questions, He might feel nervous and even afraid of giving wrong answer. This case will happen because he is unfamiliar with the direct questioning in Western education. For that reason, he will have low result in his academic achievement because he cannot adapt well to the culture of the Western educational system. And then of course, it will lead to the failure of the language learning of the students. And then the last factor, we will have access to native speaker here. This factor refers to students' opportunity to interact with a native speaker, both inside and also outside the classroom. Extensive access will lead to the success of the student's language learning, in which the student will show high improvement here. Why? It's because they can directly practice and even get feedback from the native speaker. Meanwhile, the limited access will lead to lower improvement because there is no opportunity to learn directly with native speaker. So for that reason, they tend to have lower improvement here if it's compared with students who have extensive access to the native speaker. So I think that's all of my explanations about the external factor which can affect students' language learning. And then it can be concluded that the success of learning a language is actually influenced by two factors, namely internal and also external factors. These two factors should be balanced to have a faster language acquisition within students. Well, that's all of our presentation related to the internal and external factors affecting students' language learning. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.